Hello, my friends. Welcome to Live Chats. What do you think of my background that I made? Well, I didn't make it. I stole it off the internet. Let's be real. But I figured out how to put it into the streaming, and I'm so excited, and I think that it's very festive and cute. Hello, my friend. Welcome to Live Chat. We have one of my very, very, very good friends, Audra from Audra At Home, here joining us to celebrate the things we can be thankful for and not drop on the floor. In 2020, new friends and, good things. And I had Audra on my channel one time before, but I didn't really get to really chat with her and have her kind of introduced to you all. I mean, I know a lot of you have found Audra through my channel or through, Robert Welsh, James Welsh, a bunch of other people. She collabs with all kinds of people, so many people. So you've probably seen her, heard of her before, but I really wanted to have her on chat as probably our last chat of 2020 because it's just a nice, warm, happy place, and it just makes me happy, and I thought it would be cool. So before we say hello and start talking to Audra, I just want to say very quickly good morning to the people that are here live in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, who are also going to be participating in chat. Anna and Yamar and Consuelo and Monica is here, Hannah and LV, Linda and Nika and Stacy, Saucer, Jess, Julia, Jessica, and all of our moderators. Thank you so much for being here. Emily and Vicky, Patricia, Liz, Classically Diana, and Angie, Nenny, and Teresa M.O. Thank you all so much for being here. If I did not say good morning to you, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Audra.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, my friend. It's good to see you. This is so fun.
I was up so early. I was telling you a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Like I was up and I was filming. I feel like that whole video is just going to be me with like the most crackly, like deep, gravelly voice, just being like, "Also, I like this makeup."
that morning voice when you haven't really shaken it out yet.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, your makeup looks fabulous as always.
Thank you.
So I did ask my audience to ask some questions to ask you in a pure, true Jen Love interview format. So the first question that I have for you, my friend, is about starting your YouTube channel and kind of how you decided to start your YouTube channel and what you kind of wanted to get out of it. What were kind of your goals? Like how did you get into all of this?
Well, originally it was by accident. Because I had this, there used to be this site where you could do music with people all over the world. And I was just like randomly uploading stuff to YouTube, and I didn't know that I was uploading stuff to YouTube. So there's like a channel of me somewhere singing awful. But then I decided to do it because honestly, it's going to get real really fast. My marriage was not so great, and I needed a place to escape. And YouTube became like a nice place for me to have fun and be relaxed and not be like stressed anymore. So yeah, I started it that way. And then I just really started to enjoy it.
Nice. So your channel's kind of evolved over time. What are kind of the phases of channels and content that you've gone through?
I think I kind of tried to start with beauty, but I felt very overwhelmed. I think a lot of it at first was like skincare. I'm pretty sure my most watched video at this point still is a Manyo skin challenge in like the worst lighting. It was a horror. It was awful. I don't know why people watched it, but it was that just me trying stuff. And then I did a lot of unboxing, and that got very expensive. Mm-hmm. And I was like, listen, I'm a poor girl. I cannot, even when I was making really good money, I just could not afford to just keep getting all those boxes because you can't. And also I didn't like being dependent on mail service, because if they don't come in time and everybody else has, their BoxyCharm or their Ipsy, and it's now the 20th and you just got yours, I just felt, who wants to watch me unbox another freaking BoxyCharm at this point? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, and also with subscription boxes, at least because I used to we both had subscription box channels for a while. Yeah. And like, I felt like I was getting overwhelmed with products, like just that products just kept coming and coming. And it's like, but wait a minute, I still want to use this one, but now I have to use this one because it came in my box, and now I can't use the one that I really want to, and now I'm stuck using this other one, and it was overwhelming.
Yeah, and I also felt like there's just so many boxes out there that I could never kind of determine what people would want to watch.
Right.
And so you're like getting the candle box, and my Splendies ones were a lot of fun.
Oh my God, that's the underwear one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I used to do the Splendies ones and give advice for the downstairs, things like the things of that nature. Be like, we're cotton.
Good for you. Yeah, that's an important one. Yeah, I used to always get the ones where I was like a small indie, like just like a couple that were trying to start a subscription box, and they would like send it to me, and then I'd feel really bad because it was really bad. Yeah. It was like, and I couldn't like, so that was how I kind of learned how to work with brands, because I didn't want to trash this like couple that put all their money and heart and soul into this box, and it's like a $40 box and you get $35 worth of products, and they're all like lame products. They're not even that good. And it's like, oh, like, do you really want me to review this? Like, you really want me to tell people how bad your box is? So it was kind of like my throwing into the mix of talking to companies and being like, hey.
Yeah, that's also kind of how I started to learn the difference between like when they're trying to get you to really do a sponsored video without paying you. Because they would send you a box and be like, oh, make sure you mention these things and like da-da-da. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, back then I never would have even asked for a sponsored video. Like I didn't think that I could even do a sponsored video at, a couple thousand subscribers. Like now, the whole world has changed. Now people with a couple thousand subscribers can do sponsored videos, and it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, things have definitely changed in that area, that people are getting paid for doing what they do. Oh, John.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, that's why I had to put my Birchbox on hold for a long time. I couldn't keep up, or I would end up with stuff I didn't want. That's my husband there. Yeah, we used to do a Birchbox Smackdown together where we compared the women's box and the men's box, and we would talk about who got better stuff. But it was a lot of stuff. Even in Birchbox, the little samples, it was a lot of stuff.
It is, and I got tired of having all of those tiny samples, and I would just look around and have stuff everywhere and just stuff stacked up, and then at that time, because of my work schedule, I would have to film like back to back to back to back. So what would happen is I would just like, they would all come at one time. And so I'd have 5 boxes or whatever. And then I would just film them all back to back and, get them all uploaded. But then it would just be like, there would be no content because after those were gone, like I didn't have any more boxes coming in. So I had to start filling in that space. And so I slowly started saying like dipping my toes back into beauty and trying to do, tutorials, which I am not good at tutorials. It's not my thing. I feel so awkward. It's like, I don't know how to explain how I put colorful things on my face. I'm like, listen, I just slap this on my eyes and then things happen. It's great. I play with everything, and then it just works out. Because people will ask me that, can I get a tutorial for that look? I'm like, okay, so what I did is I smashed some color here, and then I smashed colors here that I thought would work, and then I smashed some, and then I finger smashed here, and then I don't know.
See, because you have that talent, you have that ability to see color and how colors go together. Like you put the most interesting colors together. Like I don't get how you do that, because I need like the step-by-step tutorial. Like I can't just smash colors, because then I end up with mud, and like I've got glitter here and not here. And then it's like, brown mixing into like yellow and purple. And like, it all just turns into this big madness of just not good. It's bad. So I definitely admire your ability to be able to do that, because that is not my bag.
I know you told me that. You're like, no, I do the same thing every time.
Same thing every time.
Colors. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I put the light here and the dark here, and then, fade it up into my crease, and that's it. That's the end.
Yeah, I play around. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try to use this water light, like this water activated liner. Psh, that worked out okay. Psh, all right. Not the same on each side. Who cares?
Yeah. And you're carefree about it too. And I love that. I love that. Speaking of your content, you've kind of done some romance and like relationship videos, and now you have a podcast with Emily Han, talking about love stuff and relationships and all of that. Someone had asked if you're going to keep doing like love romance kinds of videos, and if you have any ideas for where you're going to take that part of your channel.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing love stuff once a month. I'm really excited about doing that because I feel like I'm a 40-year-old woman, and I think that the era that I grew up in had a lot of like game playing and all of this kind of stuff. And the 90s and early aughts, it was like, if she does this, then you do this, and as a woman, you're like, if he does this, then I do this, and it was just kind of like this weird thing where you just weren't forthright and honest. And I've grown out of it, but I found when I've been trying to date, like the other people, specifically men, have not grown out of it, and they're still making like things difficult. And so I just, not even just that, but also, talking about the hard parts of relationships and the dangerous parts of relationships, and hoping that I can help people who have been through any of the similar things that I have, and that you're not alone in this world. You're not a bad person because you fell for the wrong people. Like, you're okay. Everyone does.
Absolutely. And I think just having that voice sometimes, especially when you're feeling really low or you feel like you made a mistake, and having that voice of saying, look, I was there too. I made it out of it. You can make it out of it too. This isn't the end. Like, this is just a tough period. You're going to be okay because I was there and I made it out. So I think that kind of content's really special.
Yeah. I mean, like, there were some things where I was drafting one for January. I'm going to have to put that one towards February because I like kind of stressed myself out because I just realized something that I'd forgotten. I was like, oh my gosh, that was not okay for me right now. So I'll just do that one for February or March.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm drafting up another love stuff, and I'm really excited for that one. But
yeah, I'm sure your audience is excited for it too. It's so awesome. And speaking of your audience, you do a ton of live streaming. Ton of live streaming with so many different people. Like, if Audra pretty much knows everybody at this point. So like, if your favorite creator hasn't, a collab with Audra, where are they? Like, pretty much. I mean, you've got so many live streams. What is it about live streaming that makes you want to keep doing it?
Honestly, my favorite thing about doing the live streams is this right here. I can interact real time with everybody who's in the chat. Like Margarita was saying that she screenshot like my eye look, and if we were just doing like a regular live stream, I would just say like, oh, that's so cool. Like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. I hope, like whatever I can help you with, like, here you go, and just really be able to talk to people. Because as nice as it is to get the comments, and the comments definitely help in our videos and the film content, I'm responding to it after the fact. And sometimes it could be days, especially during this time of year, before I get back to saying something to someone. Because I do tend to go through the comments. And a lot of times if I see somebody's going through something, difficult or hard, like I tend to respond to them first, because I just know, I don't know. I know that if I was going through a hard time and somebody took the time out of their day to be like, I'm sorry, you're going through a hard time, that would make me feel good. But I like this. I enjoy the fact that I can talk live time with people and just be able to have this kind of interaction that we just don't get to have in our filmed content. So when it's filmed, I respond. But it's just not the same as seeing y'all right here and talking to all of y'all and being like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Like, you do your live stream. You get to say hello. You get to see the same people and new people. And that's really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I think you made a really good point about like the being able to talk to people about whatever the content is, about whatever the topic is. Because I definitely find that like sometimes I almost wish that there was a live stream feature during the video. Like I know they did the premieres thing, and I think they're revamping the premieres thing, but like I feel like sometimes I see the same questions over and over and over again. And it's like, if I could only talk to you right now, if only I could say something. Like, I can't talk to you through the screen because it's pre-recorded.
Yeah,
so that's a really good point.
Yeah, especially like little things like, people just asking about what makeup you're wearing, oh, what lip color is that?
Mhm.
Just to be able to say it one time, like, yes, it's in the description box. And I have gotten over my ire of being like, it's in the description box. Now I'm just like, no, it's fine. I'll tell you, because like
Mhm.
description boxes can be overwhelming. There's often a lot of stuff in there. And
Right.
because some of it's just like stuff you have to put in there. But
Right.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
like being able to, if somebody asks a question or has like hey, what highlighter, or would you recommend this mascara? Those kinds of things where
Yeah.
I can actually just kind of quickly pop on it and be like, yeah, you can do this or do that. And if you have, slightly hooded eyes, and we all have two different shaped eyes, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, and there's a reason why sometimes it's asymmetrical. That's asymmetrical because your eyes are different shapes, technically. Like
Yeah. I
they're not
never even
exactly.
bother. I gave up on trying to make sure it's perfectly symmetrical, because like this eye is more hooded than this eye. It's very
Mhm.
weird. There's like extra lines in one eye than the other. It's like a whole deal. So I
Mhm.
just started being like, whatever, it is what it is, and I'm gonna have a good time. Like,
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Like not sweating the small stuff, all of that.
yeah,
That's
it should be
awesome.
fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Well, and speaking of not sweating the small stuff, you started a live stream series called the Fresh Faced series,
Yes,
that Fresh Faced Sesh series,
yes.
and you
Hard to say.
invited me on. I have, if you have not seen, I was on Fresh Face Sesh. I can't even say
I
fresh.
can't ever say it. Like when I introduced it, I was like, welcome to the Fresh Face Sesh.
Yes, yes. And you basically the concept is you just have somebody on with no makeup, and you just
Yeah.
sit there with no makeup on, and you just talk about whatever. And it's like the most simple idea, but it's so beautifully done. And I love it. So what made you like kind of like set up in your mind to start that series?
Well, between a former content creator, my friend Danielle, and I've seen it with Samantha Ravendall, I've seen it with Samantha March, and many other creators, even Jackie Aina as well, where there would always be somebody who would say something about someone's skin. And then also people who would constantly and consistently say that like beauty creators, put on so much makeup, or people who like makeup put on makeup because they're afraid of anybody seeing their skin. And I really
Mm,
tired of that rhetoric. I'm like, listen, if you don't want to wear
yeah,
makeup, that's fine. That's cool. Have a good day. Nobody's mad at you. We all live our separate lives. But to go out of
right.
your way to make people feel a very specific way that like if they're not wearing makeup, they're uncomfortable in their own skin is false, and it's a false narrative, and it's not
Right.
kind to people. And I thought it would be fun if beauty creators could just come on and really just be comfortable and have fun and chat, and not have it be something where we have to be getting ready, because most of us, when we're doing a get ready with me or a try, like we are going to be barefaced for a second, and then it's putting makeup on. So I wanted to be able to say, hey, we can sit here for an hour and a half, no makeup,
Yep.
have a good time, and we're all comfortable and fine with our faces. Like,
Yes. Yes, I love that. And that's actually was our top news story for What's Up in Makeup today, was about Jackie Aina and how she had done a skincare video that was with the New Glow Recipe product, and she was putting it on, and you could see up close, you could see she had a little bit of scarring, a little bit of discoloration, and she ended up putting up an Instagram post like, dude, like this is, I don't need to be reminded all the time that my skin has discoloration. Like it's
yes,
okay. Like it's all right. You don't need
yeah.
to point that out all the time and say I'm so brave for being having no makeup on. Like why do we have to point this out in each other?
Yeah, bravery is like rescuing a dog from, alligators and bears. Like that's bravery. Bravery is stopping
Yeah.
someone's dog from getting hit by a car. Me putting my
Mhm.
bare face on the internet is not brave. I'm just a
Yeah.
normal person. Like I
Right.
have scars from piercings, like this one right here that a lot of people have seen. Like I had a piercing right
Yeah.
here. And
Mhm.
it just rejected, obviously, like a lot of the dermals do. Mine did because
Right.
I was losing a significant amount of weight, and there just really wasn't fat holding on to it.
Ah,
And then, I had one here and that came off. The one here didn't end up scarring, but I have scars. And like, hey, Teresa said it's here. It's so
oh
brave.
yeah.
But it's such a strange concept to really act like putting my bare face out is like an act of bravery. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm a human being. I know all of the creators that I've worked with, talked to, hung out with, like we're all just people with real issues and problems. And especially if you bring that up when you say to somebody like, oh, you have a breakout or like, da, da, da. I'm like, they know they're filming it. Then they edited it. So they saw all of it. So I'm like, yeah, I know I had a breakout. I know my skin was dry right here. I filmed this. I saw my face while I was filming it in the viewfinder. Then I took it. I started editing it. I also noticed that my skin was dry. Should I have to come in as editing me and be like, I'm so sorry that I have dry skin. I'm sorry, I'm a human being. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So annoying. And I think it stems a lot from celebrity culture. And like every time I research for What's Up in Makeup, I always come across, I think it's like Marie Claire or one of those like websites. And it's like half the articles on there is, Jennifer Lopez and her no makeup selfie, and like there's all these edits. There's so many of them. It's like 5 or 6 different celebrities. So-and-so dares to go makeup free and new selfie. And it's like, shut up. Just shut up.
They say dares. Like they act like
dares.
They're spending 24, like I spend 23 hours of my day in makeup. They just act. I'm like, I don't go to bed with my makeup on. I mean, it was cute. Like it wasn't even cute when I was younger, but when I was younger, I had that mentality because of celebrity culture. You'd have a evening that was a little tawdry with someone, and like I would lay there in my makeup, and then get up before the other person, like force myself awake, like clean everything up, lay back down, and try to look like I look beautiful like that all the time. That was just the definition of like losing my whole entire mind. Why was I doing that?
It's crazy. And I can definitely see where Indigo Blue Beauty is saying, that some people would say that it's brave just because, there's this standard of what we're all supposed to look like. And it's like, you're going to get criticized if you go with a bare face. So it's like almost like, expecting people to see you, as you are and knowing you're going to get criticism. But at the same time, it's like, let's, I know this is like overused, but let's normalize, letting us all be ourselves. And
normalize the fact that this is my face, and like normalize that this is not what I look like every day. Like this is I take, you see me when I'm like hair askew, when I have like red eyes and everything's just a mess. You see me when I'm like at my worst, and when I'm like, I think I'm smelly.
You've seen me as well. Me as well. Oh my gosh. Yeah, me as well. Absolutely. If you don't know this, I've said this before, but Audra and I literally talk every day. We've talked, I think, every day since June, since the since the round table when you were on before. Like literally every single day, we touch base with each other and see each other. So we've seen each other in all of the states.
Yes.
Even sometimes Audra's like getting out of the shower and she points the camera up at the ceiling and she's like, I can't show you right now because I'm getting out of the shower. And it's like, cool, man. Like we are on that level. We are on that level.
And I am nude. So you're staring at my ceiling fan.
And that's totally fine with me. I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. That is so funny. But yeah, I mean, I think that, as women too, I think sometimes there's the woman stereotype of, having to look a certain way that like stems back from like the 20s and the 30s. And, that would always get their hair done. You'd have to go to the hairdresser and get your hair done and wear the little skirts and go home and be the homemaker and all of that. And I think that our beauty standards for women, have carried over for generations and generations, like so many other things. And it's just a matter of saying, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to let everybody just be who they want to be.
Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing even with my wigs. Like I will wear a wig and I'll be like, listen, don't come here expecting this to be all laid. I literally put this on for a video. I'm not going to spend 45 minutes making this perfect on my head. I put it on for a video. I'm going to film this video. I'm going to film for 45 minutes to an hour. And then this wig is coming off my head. Like, I'm like, I'm not going to make it all perfect so that everybody can be like, because I mean, this is my hair, right? So literally no one believes that I grew like 25 inches of hair and I colored it overnight. Like I feel like if anybody believes that, I don't know what to tell you. If you're like,
how? Thank you so much, being Bio Girl. I appreciate you so
Hey,
much. Thank
I've
you.
seen my comments before.
Yay. Okay, so there's a few more questions that I
Okay.
wanted to ask. They came directly from, my people, our people that we share together. So I want to make sure I ask a bunch of these things.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you wear makeup on a daily basis or just for photos and videos? I think that we kind of touched on that a little bit. Do you wear makeup 23 hours a day?
I do not, but like I actually do. Even if I'm not filming, I'll put makeup on.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of it's just because I think that, and this has been a hard year, and makeup makes me happy. Being able to, like, it's the application process just like brings me so much joy and so much calm, and I enjoy like just slapping the makeups on my face, even if I'm not going to take pictures of it, even if I'm just going to the grocery store with my mom, like because like she'll call me up and be like, I'm gonna go get groceries, you want to come? I'm like, give me 45 minutes. Put the makeup on. It's just it's nice to be able to do, but I also don't like, I tend to wear it kind of daily, but if it's that time of the month, like I just don't care. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. And since this one is specifically said for both, I'll answer this one too. I will wear, it depends on what I'm testing for the channel. So if I have nothing, no eyeshadow palettes to test, nothing that I'm really like strong testing, I won't wear makeup.
Yeah.
Like I pretty much wear it for filming and when I'm trying something out. Like that, it's all functional for me at this point, especially since
you have such a cute
I'm not
face,
really going
though.
out. Oh, thank you.
Y'all, it's like you're just like straight up adorable all the time. Like every time you come in, you're like, hi. I'm like, hi.
Well, so are you. I love to see your face in the morning. It's always nice. It's always nice, even if it was from the night before. It's like, oh, it's my friend. Okay, so let's see. What's next? Makeup related. Here we go. You do favorites and fail. I do favorites and fails countdown. You do bops and flops.
Yeah.
So what is one big bop and one big flop that you would point out as like a big bop of 2020 and a big flop of 2020?
Like just for me generally?
Just you in general. I mean, it could be, you know what? We could even extend this to anything. Anything you want. Like when you think of something was a bop this year, what would it be? And something that was a flop.
This foundation I'm wearing is a bop.
Is that the Pat McGrath?
Like, I hate that it's bougie because like I've turned into such a bougie bitch, but like this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, it slaps. And every time I put it on, I'm like, this is my skin. Yeah. Like I do a whole dance. And I just feel it's so pretty and I just love it. And ever since I've purchased it, I've been reaching for it so often. It's unreal. I'm just always like, and I love the Pat McGrath one, but I like the shade. They're like the same formula, but I like the shade of the Armani one better because it's more like natural. It just looks like it's my skin and it's not thick or anything. Like I can touch my face and not be like, ew, makeup.
Yeah.
And so I really like that. My biggest flop of the year might upset people. It is the Tower 28 bronzers. I will forever have a hard on and hatred and anger about those because like in the year of our goddess 2020, for you to be coming out with bronzers in 2 shades, I can't with you. I'm so sorry. And the excuse that people will use on a really consistent basis is, oh, well, it's a new brand. And like, then don't come out with complexion products, come out with something else that can like be for everybody. Right. Because it's 2020. I'm just saying, like, if I were going to come out with my own brand and I was going to do complexion products, I would want to make sure that it fit everyone, that like everyone could find a shade in there, not just 2. And it's not like, that wasn't okay for me. And I was just extremely angry about it. And I was mostly I was mad at myself too, but like, I was still mad. It wasn't even a bronzer on me. It was barely even a highlighter. Remember I showed it to you.
You were mad. Like, you were lit up mad. You were mad.
I was like, every time I have an opportunity, I just like lose my whole mind. And I just start like, I'm like, ugh! And I feel like until this rage subsides, I'm never going to be able to buy anything from Tower 28 without that anger.
Yeah, well, but I totally agree with you, and it's one of those things where, like, if you look at like Danessa Myricks, they just came out with their contour products,
Yes.
and there's 2 light, there's 3 medium, and 3 deep, and the deep ones go very deep. And
Yeah.
I just saw that as, of course she's a Black woman, so she understands. So I thought it was such a needed product that
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you see contour products go that deep? Like
Yes.
very, very rare. But it's like you think that people would have caught on by now that this is a market of people that exists that will purchase your products if you make products for them.
Yeah.
So if you cannot make products for people, then you should not make those kinds of products. It's logical.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of like kindergarten, where if you wanted to like bring a treat or something, the expectation was if you don't bring enough for everyone, then don't bring it at all, because they were just like, you can't come in and have like cookies for your 4 friends. And because there's other people in the class, right? And you're just sitting here sharing cookies with your friends in class, and then nobody else gets them, and they're just looking over like, you don't like me? I didn't. And I just feel like
that's
with makeup,
a good analogy.
You got to really start bringing the heat, because I'm done with brands having their excuses or saying things like, oh, well, we did marketing. I'm like, you couldn't have done marketing because you don't make anything for these people. Like these shades, you are not on this end of the spectrum that is deeper and richer. You didn't do anything. And then on this end of the spectrum that is a very pale, you did not do market research, because these people are missing. So you didn't do research because those people can't buy your products. So then who did you do your research with? The people who already buy it? Then that's not marketing research. Like,
no, it's not. It's not. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, why would they come and buy things from you? If you've never made anything for this entire group of people, why would they buy anything from you? Of course, they're not going to purchase anything. You got to come out the gate with it. You got to come out of the gate.
Yeah, because those are my friends that are very, very pale, also experience difficulties with finding things. Because like, this bronzer is way too rich, and they're using like the lightest bronzer, and they're like, it's too much for my skin. And you're like, oh my gosh. And I'm looking at it like, I don't even know. So I just get very frustrated with these brands acting like they're helping. And they're like, oh yeah, we have, 72 shades. I'm like, yeah, but it's still like, you didn't talk to anybody with these 72 shades. So you still did like with Morphe's weird foundation with the undercurrent of poo green. Like, I don't know whose undertone is like that, but like, what was the point?
And the thing is like, they had like 6 shades that were nearly identical.
Yes.
It's like, why? Like, it doesn't need to be like that. You don't need to go one, like they took the color palette and they just went like this, to the point where you can't really tell the difference between them. Like, why waste your time and money on that?
Yeah, and Silphium is getting upset with all the peach that they keep putting in with virtually every foundation that is for those who have like very, very, very pale skin. They're literally just saying like, all y'all who are pale have peachy undertones, and like they're all sitting there like, no, I'm very pale with olive. Hi, I'm very pale with yellow. I'm very pale with orange, and they're just like, peach.
Everybody gets peach. You get a peach, and you get peach, and you get
everybody gets a peach.
Everybody gets peach.
It's peach.
Gets peach. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully, I mean, I do feel like, when Jackie and Alyssa did that video on Tarte, that kind of blew up the spot on all of this. That was kind of the big spotlight, but that had been happening for so many years. And I do feel like a lot of companies are trying, but I feel like some companies just don't get it. Like they just don't, it's not sinking in. Like, it's not like, I want to shake them. It's like, come on.
I mean, I think that they have to start by even having people of color in the room, and then they need to really start having, the pale fam in the room, instead of it just being like the same tan people who are there, the same 7 tan people who are like, no, this is great, it works for me. No, this is great, it works for me. You too? Okay, great. And then they all like team break and walk out, and then everybody's still sitting there like, okay.
Just like, do better. Just do better. Yeah. That's it. Just do better. It's not just do better. And like you said, if you can't do it, I get that. That's okay. Like if you can't do it, you don't have the money, you don't have the budget, you're a small company, you don't have the budget, that's fine. Just don't do it then.
Yeah,
Like
do
wait until
something
you
else.
can do it and then do it. Make some eyeliner. Everybody can use that. Make some lipstick, make some eyeshadow. You know, even go blushes, because I feel like blushes are a lot more versatile, you know, especially if
Yeah.
you've got a nice build on it. Blushes are more versatile. Don't go contour yet. Just hold off on that.
I just stay out of just stay where you can be effective, because realistically, to me, I feel like brands shoot themselves in the foot by doing this, because once you've alienated somebody, especially if they spent money on a product thinking that it would work out and it doesn't, you can alienate a whole swath of people that you didn't realize you were going to alienate, and then they won't buy from you again. You know, so I mean, there's too many makeup brands out there now for us to just keep sitting there consistently doing that.
This is an interesting one. Are they really trying, or are they just doing it to say they're inclusive and have a big range of shades? Because sometimes it's just marketing. Yeah, and it's hard to know intention. Like how do you interpret intention? I think that's something that sometimes we'll just never know what the intention was. I think one way we can tell is whether they continue it, whether it's just one line of concealers, you know, and then they're like, well, never mind, don't want to do that anymore, and then they never carry it over into other products.
Yeah, and they use that as a reason to not continue making those shades, because they made a bunch of, like, excuse my language, shit shades in the middle of it, and they did that, and then they use that as their excuse, being like, oh, well, we couldn't sell that, so like, and then they just stopped making it. And I feel like it's like done on purpose sometimes, where they're just like making it, and then they go, oh, so sorry, it looks like the brown people didn't like it. Bye.
Right. Or they made it super orange, you know, and like, I am not an Oompa Loompa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like Oompa Loompa is not a human color. Like that is an Oompa Loompa color.
Thank you.
And they are not real. They are fictional characters.
Are they? No, I'm just kidding.
I guess we'll never truly know. We'll never truly know. All right. So more questions for you, because we're actually, you know, can you believe we are over halfway done with the chat already? Can you believe that? Just like this goes by so fast. I can't even stand it. Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. So your channel has been doing really well recently. You starting this past summer, your channel started just like bumping up, like you're like, da, 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 and all of a sudden it's like, woo, what do you have any idea what happened? Like how did you do that? Because I know a lot of people have smaller channels and they're trying to grow their YouTube channels and they don't know what that magic touch is to get their YouTube channels to grow. So do you know like what happened there?
I started making content I wanted to make because when I was a much smaller channel, I kept trying so hard to be just like everybody else. I had to, you know, oh, make sure you do this like this person. Make sure you do this like this person. You know, this is what people like. And I wasn't growing. And I realized that why would people want to even come to my channel for this thing if it's already being done by this person? Like they already exist. So there's no reason to like come down into my little world over here, come down into the darkness. There's no reason to come down into the darkness if it's the same thing. Like you already saw that, right? And then I just started feeling like, well, since nobody's watching, I may as well do what I want. And I was like, nobody's watching my channel. So I just started doing whatever the hell I wanted to. I was like, we're gonna dance, we're gonna have some wine, we're going to drink and curse and have a good time. And I don't know what happened. I really, it was the look on my face when because we just done the round table on your channel. And when I tell you that I kind of had a small panic attack when I saw Robert was in my DMs, and I was like, what could Robert Welsh possibly be doing in my DMs? Like, what do you want, sir? Like, I was like really stressed. And so I kind of refused to look at it for a second because I was like, well, maybe he's just like making sure I'm okay. Thank you. Listen, Elm Street is the business. Like Nightmare, Freddy, yes. But that was when he was actually asking me to read one of his spooky stories. And I did. And then it just kind of,
Yeah, and they've really been. I mean, you just had James on your channel, and then you had Robert last week on your channel for a live chat.
I think it
So last
maybe
week,
was 2
2
weeks
weeks ago.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They're
just such
hilarious.
lovely humans.
Yeah.
They're full of joy. I love them so much, and they have so much knowledge about their respective topics. So
Yeah.
they're lovely people.
Yeah.
So now that your channel is like kind of like on this nice little upswing here, what are some things that you wish you had known? Like thinking back a year ago today, it's December of 2019. Besides, COVID and everything that we didn't really know was happening December 2019. For your YouTube channel, what are some things that like you wish you could tell yourself back December 2019?
One of a big thing would just be yourself. Stop trying so hard to be like everybody else, because that started to beat me down. Don't edit your video, your pictures. Don't stop editing your pictures. Because for me, it really started to bring down my self-esteem when I would look at photos that I would take of the look that I created from my video. Cause you just stare at yourself too long and you see all your imperfections and flaws instead of just it's beautiful. Another one would definitely be, just keep enjoying yourself. Actually enjoy yourself. Make the content you want to make instead of trying to make the content that you think is going to make people happy, because it doesn't make you happy. And the thing is, even if it did hit, let's say I did something and it had hit, but I didn't like it. Now I'm stuck doing this thing that I don't like for the duration of my channel to keep it growing.
Yes.
So I was just I can't. So yeah, I wish I would go back and just tell myself to be myself, because I think that had I been doing that from the get-go, it would have been a lot easier. I don't know if I would have grown the way that I grow if I hadn't learned all these lessons the hard way, but I think it would have been much easier for me if I had just relaxed and let me be me, instead of trying to be like, hey, today we're going to do a tutorial. I'm Audra. I'm kind and caring. If I had done any of that.
Yes. And I think that YouTube really digs into, really gets into your head, because they have all these analytics that you can look at.
Yes.
And, you look and say, okay, so these are the things I need to do in order to grow my channel. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, because YouTube tells me that these are the strategies that we need to do. You need to go with the trends. You need to go with this and this and that. And it gets very overwhelming because there's so many choices of things you can do. But YouTube is like, okay, well, this person's doing really well. So maybe if I do something like that person, then maybe I will do well as well. But then you're like a copy of that person, and it's like you're not you, and it's awkward and weird. And I think
it feels weird, because I did my Terror Tuesdays, which we'll see about that, but I did those because I love horror, and I felt like nobody was really doing makeup and horror movies, which is my favorite. But I also had to take a break from it as well, because I have to be able to sit down and watch the movie quite a few times. But now that I have this different setup, I might actually be able to bring it back in a different way, because I can actually watch it while I'm putting my makeup on and be able to go through. So I'm excited about doing some stuff like that.
Oh, I love Terror Tuesdays, because no one was doing that. No one was. No one still is. There are people, you've got Sydney Black, who does the history, and you've got Bailey, who does the true crime, and Sarah, who does true crime and all that, but nobody does horror movies. And then of course Jamie French doing the bad movies, and she takes it to another level. But
if y'all haven't seen the one with Justin to Kelly,
oh, I just watched that one.
I fell over 3 times. Yeah. I just started squishing out laughing.
Oh my gosh. And I was obsessed with that season of American Idol. Obsessed.
It was the first one. We were all obsessed. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever happened to Justin Guarini?
I don't know. I'm not sure. What did happen to that guy? We should Google him and see what
happened
to that guy. I don't know. With the hair. He had the big hair. Yeah.
I feel like he did something. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. You're gonna look and see what happened to Justin Guarini.
I have to know. Where did he go? What happened? He did some stuff for a little while, and then I feel like
What
I guess
happened
he
to
just
him?
like kind of fell off. He just does his little thing.
Yeah, I mean, he sings great. He's got a great voice. But I feel like, every season on American Idol, the people just got better and better. And I do think that the people from the first season may not have even made it to Hollywood in later seasons because they just, the number of people auditioning just, the level went so high.
They said he does Dr. Pepper commercials.
Oh, well, good for him.
I don't have cable, y'all. I'm so sorry.
I don't either. I have it, but I don't watch it. Well, now we know the mystery has been solved. Mystery has been solved. And you're a fantastic singer.
Am I?
Yes. You know what I didn't do that I meant to do at the beginning of this was, what do you have for us today, Audra? I wanted to do that and I forgot. And I'm upset that I missed that opportunity. It's like, I missed that. Next time, opportunity.
Yeah, next time we'll do it.
I made a note on my notes to say that. Oh well, I missed it. Okay, so personal question that someone had asked. Well, it's not really personal, but they asked, "What do we have in common that makes us such good friends?"
You're just a genuine good person.
Thank you. Yeah,
like you're a genuine good person. Thank you. We have ADHD.
Help me through that. Yes.
I just think that, so this sounds very slightly stalkerish. All right, y'all, but don't take it that way. I've been watching your videos for a little while, right? And one time I just said out loud, I was like, I feel like if we met, we would be good friends. And now we are good friends.
Yep.
Because I just like your personality. And when we're like hanging out, like not on YouTube and all of that kind of stuff, I just feel like we vibe well and it's fun when we talk. And listen, the highlight of my day is when you're doing that Blair Witch run with Haley. Y'all, if y'all Jeff will like
what you're talking about. You have to tell me what you're talking about.
Stop. Because like Haley's eating something she's not supposed to. So Jen scoops her up and she's in the camera like this.
Haley's my little dog. If you don't know Haley, she's my little dog, and she likes to eat things on the ground outside that she's not supposed to eat. And because she's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, she has a very sensitive belly. So I have to watch her very carefully to make sure she doesn't eat anything because then it'll make her sick. So like sometimes I just have to scoop her up, and because I have my phone and I'm talking to Audra and I'm trying to hold on to the dog, the phone usually ends up underneath Haley's belly. So Audra sees the whole underside of the dog, and then I'm running through and I have a bunch of trees in my backyard. So I'm like, okay, all right. And it's like up here and it does look very Blair Witchy, especially if you watch it on fast speed. Like it does. But I personally, I feel like we're good friends because I feel like we believe in the same things. We have the same core values. Like there are things that are very different about us. Like we were talking earlier, I'm very much a foodie. I'll go out and I'll eat and I'll try all these different things. And you are like the opposite of that because you have sensitive issues too. So it's like, there are certain things that we have very opposite, but we're very, very similar in all of the things that are important.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the reasons why I love being your friend is you help me see things in a different way. And you are a true, true friend where I'll say, hey, Audra, I'm thinking about doing this, or I have this in a video and I'm not quite sure about it. You'll be like, no, don't do that. It's not good. or like I'll say, don't do it. Or I'll say, somebody's saying this to me on Twitter. Don't do it, Jen. Don't say anything. Don't do it. Like you're like that the angel on my shoulder. Like don't do it. And you're just a really good friend. Like when you say what makes somebody a good friend, it's like all the things that you are. Yeah. So I think that's something I wanted to say. So
and you're genuinely there for me. Like when I'm having like my really like random freakouts, I'm like blah, blah, blah. You're there for me when I'm going through it, and you don't make me feel like an idiot when I like bare my soul. And that's something that's actually hard for me to do. So when I'm able to do so and not have the other person be like, then I'm like, okay, we're friends then. Yep. And right quick, Monica Loves Beauty. I have on JD Glow Volcano. They were wondering. I have JD Glow Volcano in the center of my lid.
I was trying to find where it is. Oh, here we go. There it is. Okay.
I just
But
wanted to let them know because I saw
yes,
that.
thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, but that goes both ways, that you've helped me through some very stressful times in my life. So yeah. Yes, definitely.
Well, I love you. So,
I think it's really hard to find, and I think everybody knows this. Once you go even through high school, it's hard to find a good friend, somebody that is truly a good friend. And when you find those people, you have to hold on to them. And it's so important because there are so many people out there, and the more that I'm on this platform, the more I realize that I've always been a very friendly person, in that, whenever I went to Ipsy events, I'd see someone sitting by themselves and be like, hey, and I just strike up a conversation. And sometimes they give me the vibe that they wanted to be left alone. And of course I would immediately leave. But then sometimes they were like, oh, hi, and it's like, they were just kind of waiting for somebody to talk to them that they really wanted to, but they didn't know anybody. So I've always been that kind of person. Yeah. So I've learned on YouTube that not everybody is like that. And that some people really are more here to play the game. They're here as the social climbing game. They just want to take what they can take. And when they can't take anything, then they don't care anymore. And it's so sad. It's so sad. But I mean, I guess everyone has their different choices. So, it's nice when you meet somebody and you know that it's a genuine friendship and not just a YouTube thing.
Yeah, because I mean, there's people who are gonna, like with YouTube, there's always gonna be people who are gonna be acquaintances, right? And you're going to know, and you're gonna chat with people, like whatever. But then there's people who are actually your friends.
Yes.
Like, I'm not a very good social climber. I'm just not good at it because I get like this. First of all, just the absolute stress of trying to ask somebody who has a significant amount of subscribers to collab with me gives me like massive flop sweat and nervous goat fart. So like I am uninterested in like social climbing like that because I'm just like, I'm sweaty, uncomfortable, and gassy just trying to do it. So I'd rather just collab with people who I'm genuinely interested in getting to know. And that's another fun part of doing the Fresh Face Sesh, because like I've gotten to know Linda a little bit from Fallout, and I'm looking forward to starting that back up in January. So it's just nice to be able to like meet people, and then sometimes we become great friends, sometimes we just stay acquaintances. It's cool, but I find that's it's fun, and I'm just glad you're my
Yes, I'm glad you're my friend too. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard. And when you first get to know someone, you don't know which way it's going to go. You don't know whether it's going to stay an acquaintance or, what this person's trying to get out of the relationship. So you never really know. And it's kind of that awkward phase of not really knowing at first. But I'm really thankful for all the people that I've met through YouTube. Just so thankful. And I'm trying to, once events go up, maybe we can have some kind of small gathering or something where Audra would come, something small. Roller skating. Yes, we talked about that with she did my friend Linda from Glitter Fallout, who actually doesn't live that far from me. We actually got together during the pandemic. We went outside and had a picnic before it got too cold, and we went for a walk, and we had our masks and everything, and we did the whole 6 feet outside. But Linda and I, Linda was on Audra's channel, and they were talking about going roller skating, and we were talking about how it would be really cool to all get together and go roller skating once we're able to, and Audra can come up here because she's in Texas and we're in Maryland, and there's so many people in this area. Tony's in this area, and Sarah's in this area, and it would be cool to get everybody together and go roller skating. So maybe we'll do that.
Although I think the weirdest thing in the world for me would be someone wanting a picture with me, and I'd be like, why would you want to do that?
When you go to events, it does happen. It does happen, and people will want to hug you if you go to an event. Ooh, that's not your thing. That's not a thing.
I know. I'm like, are we going to touch? We're going to touch. All right. Like, I just have to steel myself for the touching. And also don't ask me what's, in my water bottle. It's probably not water.
Oh.
Like at an event, like if I have like a cup that you can't see, and don't ask me what's in it.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what? There you go. Nice. So talking about friends, this wasn't on my list, but talking about friends, who are some of your favorite people that you've met through YouTube? I know you've met so many people besides, James. We've talked about James. We talked about Robert. And this is not an inclusive list. I'm sure there are people that she's not going to mention. So if you people don't get mentioned. I don't want them to feel
Yeah,
bad.
there's like
Yes.
obviously Emily Hanhan met completely by chance. I've been kind of peeking on her content for a little bit, and then met through doing her favorites last year, and we've been hanging out ever since. Definitely Linda. We've talked about Linda. Kate, I recently started talking to from Kate the Great Beauty. Hilarious, actually. She's just like a really genuine person. So I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. Tina from the Fancy Face, T, Josh. I don't know if y'all know Josh Killer King. He has been.
He was here earlier. I don't know if he's here still.
Like,
oh yeah,
just a sweet baby. And my mom was like, he's so pretty. I was showing my mom last night because he was streaming on Twitch. She was like, he's so pretty. I'm like, he is so pretty. You know, like there's a lot of people that I've gotten to know this year, even just like LGG, the Legetta Gang folks that I've been able to hang out with, Yolanda that I've been able to do some collaborations with, which was so fun to do a collaboration with her. We did a live stream recently. Their channel's Deeper Skin Tone, and I'm so excited to see them grow. Like I just love being surrounded with all of these folks that like we have kind of that same vibe where we very much all feel like someone else's success does not mean I am not going to be successful. And so we're all just around each other, just like lifting each other up the whole time, as opposed to working out ways to like tear each other down. So that's really been making me really, really happy, actually.
Yeah. And like, I think it's so nice when you get to know people a little bit and then you see someone doing so well, and then you get to cheer them on and kind of live vicariously. Like I remember like when Raw Beauty Christy and I first met, we had about the same amount of subscribers. We both had about 50,000 when we met. And, you know, then she was in the Nick's Face Awards and I was like cheering her on the whole time. And of course I was devastated when she didn't win, and, you know, watching her channel grow. And then it was like, all of a sudden she just started taking off, and she was going on these brand trips. And I swear, I almost felt like I was there, like I was growing with her, you know, like it was like every time she got to do something cool, I felt like I got to do that too, because I felt like we were like twins for so long as far as subscriber numbers and community and, you know, all of this. And then to see her just explode, I felt like I kind of got to go on that ride with her almost vicariously through her. So it's really fun getting to know people on this platform and watching their journeys and really helping each other and lifting each other up. It's a beautiful thing. It really can be. I mean, the YouTube beauty gets such a bad rep for being toxic and all of this, but it really is what you make of it.
Yeah, because like, you know, because Teresa was here from Teresa's Dad. I've been talking to her, like we hang out and it's fun. Lacey, Spooky Lips of Fat Hips, like I guess for me, I'm trying to create the community that I want to have. And I just want it to be a community that uplifts, that is cheering everybody on, as opposed to thank you, Yolanda, as opposed to just like this constant bickering. I don't ever want it to go back to that. I don't want it to go back to this like weird cliquey, like just we don't like you, you can't sit with us mentality. I want it to just be like, we'll always make room at the table, let us scooch over, you know?
Yes. And it does get very high school sometimes. It does get very like, you can't sit with us sometimes. And it's like, okay, I'll go over here. And it's sad. So it really is just surrounding yourself with good people that are doing this for the right reasons and are friends with you for the right reason or acquainted with you for the right reasons, and not just because they have an ulterior motive, you know? So, all right, we are running out of time. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Okay, so 2 more questions.
Okay.
Favorite and least favorite horror movie franchises?
So favorite, we're going to go with OG, obviously Nightmare on Elm Street, but modern, we're going to go with The Collector, the Collection series. The Collector Collection series, definitely going to say that is phenomenal because it's one of the few horror series that had a very strong sequel. Very few of them have a strong sequel, and that one did, because as we all know, as much as I love Nightmare on Elm Street, the second one was not strong. It was not strong. Like, it now has a cult following. We understand it now in a way we didn't then, but still, it was not a strong second showing. Least favorite has got to be the Wrong Turn series, because it's like, how long can there be inbred hillbillies living in the woods that nobody takes care of for fines? Like, I feel like the government
Yeah.
would just send like a whole posse out there for that because like that's weird. Like people survive this and they're like, yeah, in these
Yeah.
woods, there are these people. So like the first one
Yeah.
was kind of fun and exciting. And then as it just kept going, it's like wrong turn 700. And I was just like, y'all, I can't. Like this isn't good.
Haven't people learned to stop turning the wrong way at this point? Like,
Listen, if I can leave all of you with a very important piece of advice, and it's this: don't take that shortcut. That
Don't do
shortcut
it.
leads to death.
All right, I got one more question for you. What is one major thing you are thankful for this year?
Ooh, that's difficult. It's gonna be like a relationships. It's gonna be two pronged. So the first is gonna be that I have been able to spend time with my mother in a way that I haven't been able to do in the majority of my adult life, and that has given me like the absolute most joy that I can just like, oh, I'm gonna get weepy. I can spend time with my mom because there was a long period of time where I really couldn't spend time with her because of how my marriage was. It was difficult for me to spend time with my mom because he did not have a good relationship with his mother, and just it was a whole thing.
Yeah. Sorry,
And
I
the
don't want to.
other, the
Yeah.
friendships that I have made, I've made some
Yeah.
really fantastic and phenomenal friendships this year. All of you who I have made friendships with, it's 2020 really should have been the worst year of my life. I lost my job, looked for jobs, could not find a job. This should have been the absolute worst year, but instead it's turned out to be the best year of my life.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Audra, for coming on. I appreciate you. And I'm sure I will be chatting with you later today, probably maybe even as soon as we're done with the stream.
Yes, that's
Because
true.
we'll be chatting all day, I'm sure. But thank you all so much for being here live. I appreciate you. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for watching on the replay. Don't forget to go over to Audra's channel. She is linked down below. If you enjoy her vibe, go check out her channel. Go subscribe if you enjoy. Yeah, thank you for being here. And if you are, I mentioned earlier, we probably will not have a live stream next week because of the Christmas holiday, but I may, if something pops off and I feel like there needs to be a live stream, I might have a live stream, but there's definitely going to be no What's Up in Makeup next week. So, because I'm not editing on Christmas. It's not happening. I'm taking the day off.
I already started taking time out of my golfness because I was like, listen, this is a young person's game.
Oh my gosh.
I am old and I am tired.
I don't know how people do that videos every day. I don't know. I could never. I could never. Props to them. Props to them. Well, thank you again so much. Yes. Mad love. Yes. Deuces.